Instantly, we come crashing back down to reality. And I think that reality is, man, I don't think we are as good as what we keep envisioning. I know the reaction to this game is going to be Maresca, the first half lineup, playing with 10 men because Nkunku is just wasted, offers nothing. Doesn't look good for us. Isn't good for us. Insert whatever complaints you have about him because every complaint is justifiable, by the way. Let's not get it twisted. But after seeing how we ended the game with all the big guys on the field, Cuckoo, Palmer, Nico, Neto, bro, let's be honest. Was it really enough? Yeah, there was an injection of threat that was something, right? Which was non-existent in that first half. But even with all these guys on the field, all the attacking guys on, it still wasn't good enough. And it still amounted to absolutely nothing. Case in point, compare Nico Jackson's introduction in the second half. It was a big introduction for us. But even though he finally offered us an outlet to be able to play quick to, play direct to, play quickly in behind against Brentford, hold the ball up against Brentford's defence, offer us an outlet to connect the field. All of his shots were missed. None of his efforts were on target. And this is the reality of where we are, yeah? It's more than just the manager's tactics, which he can definitely debate against and argue. I also think it's the players as well. I think today they definitely take responsibility. I hate the fact that this team is unable to take advantage of any half-chance moment. If the system is not hand-holding these guys, yeah, if it's not babying these players, if it's not protecting them, they seem to offer nothing outside of the tactical setup. If there's a bouncing bubble that requires a half chance effort, does he have the quality to put that on target, to force a save? No. There was a great moment, probably the best effort we made in this entire game, came, I think, from like a pass across goal. Was it either from Neto or Gusto? I can't remember. Nico Jackson times his run in front of Collins perfectly, but he completely misses contact with that ball then. And I'm sorry, watching this game, I just looked at every moment and I just thought to myself, the players are coming up short big time. Like, this wasn't one of those games where Brentford were like parking the bus, right? And just defending so deep and frustrating the hell out of us. It wasn't one of those types of games. It was a game where there was possibilities that opened up on this field, but these players just did absolutely nothing with that. And maybe you could say this is an issue with maybe Enzo's coaching, that because it's so system reliant, that maybe it just takes away from the players' imagination or bravery or threat, We have like 10 minutes left to do something in this game, yet you're still seeing 4 guys behind the ball. Nothing switches on in their heads, but it's like, yo, this is desperation time now. This is the moment where we should try and be brave and force something here. It doesn't exist. That energy is not here. And what it leaves us with is this team that just lacks any ideas when it comes to breaking teams down. Yeah. As the game was coming to its endpoint, the only efforts he was able to create was outside the box. And it hurts that you have no one that can take advantage from them. I'm sorry, Enzo Fernandez near the end. Like, if I had a player ratings video, he would have lost the point for the final 15 minutes because every single shot from this guy was off target, weak, poor. And I'm sorry, there's just this level of quality that needs to exist in these moments, right? It must exist in these moments. And this is why I'm not going to protect the players today. They have to be held to accountability for a terrible showing. Even that first half, Nkunku, diabolical, the worst player on this field. But I have to add, Madueke was non-existent today. There was moments he was 1v1. He wasn't getting doubled up on 24/7. He had the moments there and he did nothing. He did not commit his man. He did not run towards goal. He rarely forced any shots on goal. It was poor stuff from him. I thought Enzo Fernandez, outside of one nice passing behind to Nico Jackson, every offensive threat from him was poor, whether it's the final pass to find someone or his shot selection, which is just, oh my lords, This is why I just miss having the world-class players like your Lampards. Like, they would make moments like this from nothing. Just like, they find the logical solution. They have the quality to test the keeper, to force something. These guys outside of Palmer, who's the only guy that has that type of ability in the squads, no one else has that in this team. I think we've seen that throughout the season. Yeah. No one in this team has that. Maybe you could argue Kukurea with some of the, winners and moments that he's had for us. But no, or Reece James too, outside of those two guys and Palmer, no one else has that. And that is disappointing with the amount of money we spent on them, the amount of players that have come through. And it just leaves us looking like this team that lacks any ideas, lacks any imagination. Every time you watch the game, it's the same passing moves, the same movements off the ball, the same lack of movements actually off the ball, the same spam crosses inside the box. To who, man? To who? To no one. And that's the only thing we have in our game. When it comes to the players in these tight games, having to engineer something themselves, the shots aren't great. They're just shooting and hoping something happens. Yeah, there's nothing switches on here. And this is the main issue I have with the team, and it's his biggest weakness this season, I have to say. I understand the first half lineup was dead. My only argument is I think it's fair that Maresca can't introduce players that played 2 hours against Spurs to be starting games like this, especially for the guys that have come back from injury. I'm not actually angry that Nico didn't start the game. What I'm angry is that there was enough time in that second half to have done something. The players had enough time to engineer something, to fashion moments, fashion chances. And every half chance that came, there was no quality, couldn't force efforts against the keeper, nothing whatsoever. And actually, we're even lucky. We're even lucky that we got a point today, because Brentford could have won this game from the 80th minute onwards in that crazy 5-10 minute spell where, it was insane the efforts they missed, hitting the crossbar, point blank efforts from set pieces, counter-attacking moments straight through us. Yeah, thank God Robert Sanchez was on form today. The funny thing is, Sanchez was our best player. When Sanchez is your best player on the field, I think that's a terrible indictment on everyone who played in this game today, irrespective of Maresca's first half lineup. I'm sorry, I just don't think that first half lineup is a strong enough excuse for anything, because even if these guys started the first half, look how they ended the second half and they had a lot of time to play. Are we expecting a 10x performance rise in their game when this is all they could do in terms of fashioning efforts? And what even hurt even more is that 4 players came on with fresh legs, and all of a sudden Brentford now, final moments of the game, are just creating attack after attack after attack, and we're getting weaker and weaker, even though we have fitter players on the field. This is players today being absolutely poor in what they're doing, and it's a reminder that the squad is nowhere near perfect. It's a reminder that, yet again, we have to go into the window, and it's just another reminder that we go into another window without having the full confidence that we will finally get what is needed for this team to actually start showing some sense of progression, to kind of rise up the ranks a bit now. Yeah, it's obvious this team needs a striker. And Nkunku, listen, I feel for this guy completely. I feel for Christo Nkunku, I do. He's a second striker. He plays in the pockets. Yeah, he is not a striker that holds the ball, that brings people into the game. Yeah, that is a spearhead for attacks. He is not that player. And this is the only way he gets game time, playing in a position that does not suit him. Sadly, there's been no need for this style of player, and this has really wasted what we can do this season. A big name striker is needed, a powerful striker is needed in the summer. We need, I can't believe yet again, more wide threat. Thank the Lord we've signed Esteval, but I'm not going to be relying upon a kid from Brazil to single-handedly upgrade our attack here. We need to sign a strong player on the left-hand side. Nico Williams, someone that can offer some X factor and some quality. I think we need a carrier in midfield. I look at our midfield, we have a lot of talent for next season. But I think one thing we also lack in games like this is someone that can carry the ball, that commits the man against the opponent. That dribbles. We're lacking that dribbling threat that we was showing before. It can't just only come from Nico and from one of the wingers when they feel they're on form. It needs to be more to try and manipulate the opposition's offensive organization. And I mean, again, every single window we go into, you know, we see the limits of how the season goes, and we have to constantly turn towards the market. We're all getting a bit sick and tired of it. We can only pray that this is the window that finally rights some wrongs, man. And at least we can say it's quite obvious now. Even if a man didn't even watch Chelsea, they will know exactly what we need to do to strengthen the team. Because I think we've kind of hit a plateau in terms of what we can do this season. And the only way at the moment we get CL qualification is if the other teams around us are also dropping points and are also losing. But I'm looking at Newcastle, man. I'm looking at Man City. Forest, you're hoping Forest can capitulate. They're the only team ahead of us right now that give us a strong... Like, there's a bigger chance that Forest capitulate compared to Newcastle or Man City at this moment. And that's the worrying thing, yeah? That is the worrying thing. You know, we got more London derbies coming up. The last few fixtures, man, you know, Everton, that'll be a tough game. Games against Fulham, and then Forest and United and Liverpool and Newcastle. It's going to be very hard to predict what happens, because if you wanted to give us a bit of confidence or something, how we approach this game and getting a result in this game today after what we did against Spurs, this would have made us feel like, okay, there's something we can take forward to in these future games. But right now, after the manner of the display today, with how tepid and uninspired it was, the stats will paint a positive picture, but stats mean nothing when you actually watch games like this. It's just not good enough whatsoever. And I don't know, man. I'm going to let you guys debate this below. Do you think if your Palmers and Co started the first half, would it have made a big difference? You know? Because if they started the first half, they wouldn't have ended the game, would they? They would have got subbed off at some point, and we would have definitely got weaker, irrespective of them. So we can't even rely upon them playing 90 minutes. And if they can't play a full 90, I mean, that just really limits anything we can showcase, right? So I don't know, man. It's really poor showing from the players today. Really uninspired. And I don't know, you guys, debate this below in the comments. Do you feel it's the coaching of Maresca that inspires this safety first approach from the players that keep hiding behind the system all the time? Let us know how you feel. And you know what? I'm going to let you guys know if I'll be back with the stream so we can further discuss things. So stay tuned tonight. See you then. Cool.